Hi, welcome back to Box of Delights and welcome to this preview of Flame and Fang. Let me start with the obvious. This is a Kickstarter preview, and as always, I don't take payment for any Kickstarter preview, any video of any kind. This has been sent to me by Mark Dainty from Not Bored Gaming. So, like a lot of us who do these YouTube videos, there's no payment. We're just doing it to share a passion, to help out a project, just for the fun of it. There's no profit involved here, okay? So it goes without saying, really. And this time, I'm a fan of Michael Kelly's One Stop Co-op Shop. So this is just a way to say thank you for all the videos he's given us and help him out by previewing a game that he's co-designed. Also, it goes without saying, this is indeed a prototype. So, not a proper rule book, just prototype components. Mark Dainty sent me this. I would have sent it on to somebody else. I mean, that happens too when we're doing previews. We just do our thing and send it on, let another reviewer have a look at it. And normally I try, if I'm helping people out, I'll try and get the video out before the campaign starts. The campaign's actually already running while I'm filming this because I've been busy with a lot of other projects, so it was bad timing. Sorry, Michael. But the campaign is still running, so I'm getting to show you before it ends. But because I've been busy, I've not actually played this yet. So this one's going to be a little bit different for us. I mean, I do this sometimes now and again. I will explore a game with you, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. I understand this one's quite light. There's not a lot of heavy rules to get through. I'm hearing good things. Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, who's friends with Michael Kelly, also has told me how much fun this is. So I'm not going to give you any views or opinions. I'm just because I've not had a chance to form any. So let's do that thing where we open up the box. Let's learn the game and see what Flame and Fang is all about. In Flame and Fang, 1 to 4 players will cooperate to guide a group of dragons through a series of adventures. Each adventure is a chapter from the story that continues the tale of how the dragons grow, mature, and overcome obstacles. Each turn, players will draw and play cards that will let their dragons fly around the board, gather resources, upgrade their abilities, fight enemies, and turn new pages that reveal their story. Okay, let's have a quick look at these components then. So we've got a story deck. This is this big, thick deck here. No spoilers. Let's not look ahead through this story deck. But we're going to start right at the beginning, chapter 1, which I know Michael has said is kind of a little introduction to the game, really. So you're not going to see the full depths of this game in the first chapter. Just bear that in mind. We've got 4 dragon figures, and they each have their own player boards. We've got an obsidian, ruby, amethyst, and emerald dragon. Each dragon brings its own starter deck of 18 cards. We have a boss figure. We have an amber figure and a leader token. We'll find out what those are about soon, I'm sure. And then we've got a bunch of tokens and then some other decks here as well. We've got upgrades. I presume we're going to upgrade our basic deck. So we've got a deck building mechanism going on here. And then we've got some conditions. So I can see some damaged effects here. Conditions and traits. We've got an event deck. We've got some minion cards. These are going to be enemies we fight, I presume, and a whole bunch of secrets. Well, I don't know what this is going to be. It's a co-op game, and we're going to play solo. We're going to play through chapters, it tells us, and we win if we complete the chapter's final goal, and then we move on to the next chapter. So you will be breaking down this game into a series of game sessions. It also tells us that chapters will generally have smaller goals on their story cards to compete before the final goal is revealed. We lose if we run out of time. We've got an event deck that controls the time. And we also lose if we're defeated, if our dragon runs out of life. Right, let's set up and begin chapter 1. Here we are then. I've chosen to be the Emerald Dragon. These are my 4 life cards. Let's turn the first card of the story. You awake in darkness, held tightly, trapped. You push and scratch, gently at first, then with more strength. Finally, the walls begin to crack. You push out of your egg, the light blinding you. You're in a cave. Instinct tells you that your family members should be there to greet your birth. But there is no one, no mother or father. Your stomach rumbles and you feel cold. You need dragonstone and gold to light your fire, and food to fill your belly. You must brave the outside world and gather what you need to survive. All right, we've begun our fragile life, and it looks like we have to head outside to find sustenance. All right, setup. So we've got some instructions here on how to set up the board. We've got the fortress over to the right. We've got the cave where we've hatched from our egg over to the left, and then everything else randomly in between. So we're going to randomize these cards and set up the map. I love a map. I love a map. Aside from shuffling the cards, which is my most favourite thing. It's one of my favourite things to do in the world. I love shuffling cards. We also like a variable map. It's always that sense of exploration, right? What's going to be there? I love that in a game. Okay, we flip these face up now. Wonderful. Our dragon begins here in the cave where this icon is. Right? So here's our emerald dragon. The card also says place 4 quest tokens. Here's our tokens on each player board. So we've got 4 quest tokens. No doubt they'll be related to our goal for this chapter. Incidentally, there's 8 chapters altogether here. Then these icons reflect player counts. We're playing solo, so we're looking at this line. So 1 or 2 players here, 3 or 4 here. Add, and there's a skull icon here. This is the icon for minions. It says add 5 event cards, and then we'll push on through the story. So the world outside is an unfriendly place to a dragon pup. Skulls matches this icon here. So we're going to draw a minion card, just the one. And this says where it should be placed. It's a warden at Mountain 1, it says, which is here. Hey, Warden of the Mountains. I see you're restricting which way I might go, unless you're a friend. But this guy looks quite dragon hungry, doesn't he? Yeah, I think it's a foe. 5 event cards, it says. So here's our event deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I say, I believe this becomes our timer for the chapter. Flip the card. With the bravery that only starvation can kindle, you set 4. Okay, off we go. We begin our journey out of the cave's entrance. Right, looks like we're being told our goal here. Action phase, it says each time a dragon defeats a minion, resolves a growth action to gain an upgrade card, or passes their turn while on the fortress, remove 1 quest from their player board if able. Okay, remember we got 4 quests. So to remove quests, we got to defeat a minion, resolve a growth action to gain an upgrade card. So we're going to build up our deck. Or if we make it to the fortress, so pass. So if we make it here, we can just pass, remove quests. Okay, so that's kind of like our objective, right? Okay, I like it. Our goal, if no quest tokens remain on any player boards, you may flip this card at any time. All right, nice and easy. So we've got to make it over to this fortress, possibly defeating minions and upgrading along the way. But we need some cards to do this. And the rulebook tells me this is the leader. So if we're playing multiple players, who is leading our party of dragons? This is our deck. And then the rulebook says draw 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's our starting hand. Okay. So we've got some grow cards, some stalk, swoop, roam, and bite. So we've got cards that'll help us move, cards that'll help us attack, cards that'll help us grow, and cards that'll help us search for stuff by the looks. Let's find out. Now it looks like there is a mulligan rule, so if we wanted to, we could swap 2 of these cards out and give ourselves 2 new ones. But I think there's a good spread here, right? I like what we're seeing. Right, phases of the turn. It looks pretty straightforward, so I'm going to show you this, I might as well. So we start with an aspect. We choose an aspect for the turn. And so what sort of stance are we taking? what's our focus for the turn. Then an action phase, we play cards from the chosen aspect. We prepare, discard, and prep for future, and then recover. So discard, draw, and recovery phase effects, and then the enemies take a turn. Okay, so I'm guessing we have to pick an aspect then that matches the card that we want to play. So we've got a stalk or a lunge. I presume we want to set forth from our cave. Possibly a grow. Some cards have a star on them, and they are wild. So whichever aspect we choose, we can play this card, right? Depending on whether we want to fight, flight, or hunt. This card is always available. We can play any number of cards. So it's not just one card. We can play any number that match our chosen aspect. Now, do we feel like just lunging out of our cage and taking on that warden? I don't know. I don't know how much of a difficult fight this is going to be. I think the only way to figure this out is to go and do it, right? Well, there's this part here which says this is an additional cost. So if we move and then want to attack, which is what I'm guessing this lunge is, we have to pay an additional cost. And this is a dragonstone icon. That's these things. We haven't gathered any of those yet, so we don't have any resources. But it does say /, which means or discard a card. Well, I like that. That might be useful. But how do I gather these resources? Well, this stalk card says this is the gather resources icon. Now, it looks like resources are placed on tiles by event cards or defeating minions, so we've got to look out for that. But additionally, there are resource icons on these tiles. So each location, like the cave where we're currently standing, provides a resource, an additional resource of the type indicated. So you can be potentially gathering up to 2 resources. So if I gathered here, I could gather one of these dragon stones. Now, this warden looks quite tough. It seems like I need to do 3 damage. There's a 3 up here to defeat it. And my attacks look like they only do 1 damage. That's no good. It also says at the end of minion phase, remove all damage on this enemy. So it looks like I've got to knock this thing out in 1 turn, maybe. Interesting. So I think it might be a little bit too soon to go fighting. So let's see. Let's think about gathering and upgrading our deck. How about that? Let's choose the hunt aspect. Yeah, I like this. All right, so I'm going to start by playing this stalk card. This lets me gather. Now, there aren't any resources on my tile, so I'm just going to be able to gather what's here. So this is my play area up here. Let's make a little bit of space. And we'll play this and stalk. So I'll take the stalk action, take one of these resources, and I place it down here on my hoard, and I've got spaces for 3 resources. Lovely, my little dragon hoard. Now I can play this wild card, this grow. Okay, so I play this, and it says resolve a growth action or refresh the upgrade path. I'm going to resolve a growth action. During setup, we revealed 4 cards. This is called the upgrade path. So I could refresh the upgrade path. That was one other option. I'm happy with what I see. I've got 1 resource. And there's 2 cards up here that only cost 1 resource. This one and this one. This is the resource cost in the bottom. I like this one, but I like this swipe better. So it costs 1 resource. I choose a card. I'll pay the resource. I'll pay this. I'll pay the 1 dragonstone. And then I have to choose a card from my hand to replace. And this comes into my hand. Oh wow, this is like Renegade. This is like my game Renegade, where when you upgrade, you swap a card in and out. I like it. Right, nice. Actually, Mike said that they took a little inspiration from Renegade. That's super. All right, so which card do I want to replace? I think this bite, I'm going to change the bite for a swipe. Okay, so that card goes out and this card comes in. Am I happy with that? Yeah, I'm happy with that. I don't want to imbalance my deck too much at this stage because I don't know what kind of cards I've got. So I don't want to take out a move to put an attack in. I'll take an attack out and put an attack in. This lot lets me do 2 attacks. All right, so I'm taking bite out. Right, this card that I've placed is out of the game. Nice. Now I can't play any more cards, but this is a neat little mechanism, right? Because this card's gone into my hand. I could have bought a card with the same aspect. So if I'd gotten Heedless Aggression, I could have played this and then gathered again, suffered a wound, then moved and attacked. So that could have been nice. Nice little combo. Yeah, I like that. I mean, that's the other thing. I've taken a fight card out and put a fight card in, so my aspect balance is still the same. But again, that's very like Renegade. Yeah, Mike, you knew I'd like this game because of those little ideas. Sweet. And that's decisions you've got to make, right? Because I'm changing the. If I put in, they don't have to be the same aspect. So I could have put in this card, which is a hunt aspect. If I put a hunt aspect in and a fight card out, I've made my deck more hunty and less fighty. Makes sense? Yeah, so that's neat. I like this. I like this. So decisions are not always as straightforward as they first seem, and that was the same in Renegade as well. But we're not here to talk about that. Let's keep pushing on. All right, so I've done a little upgrade. Right, now we've completed our turn, we have what's called a prep phase. So during the prep phase, we can take one card from our hand that matches the aspect chosen for the round, in this case, hunt, and put it in our prep area. And the idea here is we're kind of saving a card. It doesn't count towards our hand size. It's prepped and we can use it on a future turn. I like that. Okay, well, I don't have any, so I can't. But maybe if I'd gotten this, I might have used it, set it aside and prepped it. There you go. I'm not prepping anything. I don't have any to prep. Then we can discard an action card. So I could discard one of these, for example. So I might discard the lunge. Let's discard that. And then, well, I'm discarding it because I want to increase my chances of pulling another fight card, I think. Right, then we move into the recovery phase. So played cards get discarded. Cool. And then we draw back up to our hand size, which is 6. So I'm going to draw 3 more cards. And I want a fight. There we go, I've got one. Excellent. I've got a swoop, a seize, and a lunge. Perfect. If our deck runs out, we recreate a new deck from our discard. All right, nice and easy. Okay, that's a player turn. Now we must remember, we've got our action phase. Each time the dragon defeats a minion, resolves a growth action to gain an upgrade, or passes it on a turn while on the fortress, remove a quest token from the player board, if able, which we did. We took the upgrade action. Okay, we resolved a growth action. Okay, and gained an upgrade card. So we've done 1 out of our 4. Beautiful. Incidentally, I notice there's a nice little reminder here of what a player turn looks like and what an enemy turn looks like. And that's what's coming up next. So the minion phase says if there's any minions on the same tiles as our dragons, then they will fight. That's not the case. Minions have abilities like this one, end of minion phase, remove all damage on this enemy. So if I had partially attacked it, this warden would be healing himself up now. So yeah, I've got to hit it for the whole 3. And that's it. That's the minion phase. There's also a boss phase. The boss isn't in play yet. So a story deck might be putting the boss out in play. Right, so we push past the boss phase. And now we have the event phase. We're going to draw the top card of the event deck. Now remember, there's only 5 of these. So you might say, well, why aren't you just rushing for the fortress? Well, maybe that is an option on this chapter, but is there enough turns to do it? Do you have enough cards? Is it the best use of the chapter? You know, upgrading, grabbing some more resources might be a better way to progress this chapter rather than just running for the fortress. So there we go. We've only got 5 events anyway. So let's draw an event card. benevolent spirits gift you some of their energy. Let's see. Now, there's a player count thing here. 1, 2, or 3 players. This event doesn't happen. It only happens in 4 players. All right, so we're going to skip this part. Happy. Then you've got some minions spawning. So for a solo player, 1 more minion is appearing. Incidentally, it's at this point, if you can't draw an event card, that we immediately lose the game. That's how this timer works. All right, so I guess our party of dragons is not big enough to attract the attention of a benevolent spirit, but we will have a new minion spawning. And it is a militia spawning at the outpost. So these minions are potentially blocking our route to the fortress anyway. So potentially if we could make a mad dash for it, minions might be unavoidable. This guy's a little weaker, only 2 defense, so 2 attack will defeat it. Before we push on, we do need to refresh the upgrade area. So as soon as you take a card, you need to refresh it with a new one. Breath attack. Or smart. If played from your prep area, it does 2 damage with a breath attack. Wow, I like that. That only costs 1. Oh my gosh, there's so much to discover in this game. I like it. This is the beauty of playing a new game. Uncovering a game's secrets. Aspect-wise, I still don't think I've got enough to take on that warden, because even if I put it into fight, I've only got 3 attack, but I'm not in the right space. I'd have to use this advanced effect to move into the space, swoop, and I haven't got any resources to pay for it. And the discard card thing, you have to discard a card from the matching aspect. So it would just cost me 2 cards just to move in, and then I'm just doing 1 damage. So no, I can't attack just yet. I think I'm going to use flight. I think I'm just going to move to flight. So let's change our aspect to flight. I've got 2 cards here I can use. And I think what I'm going to do is actually use roam for its 1 move. Now, do I move into the forest and go after this guy? Or do I move into the mountains, suffer this attack, and then try and take out the warden next time? I think I'm going to do that. I'm feeling brave. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to use roam for this. Then I'm going to boost it by discarding this lunge. It matches the aspect I'm in. So I'll discard this. And then I can gather, and I can gather some dragonstone. I don't mind this because I want to see what happens. You know, I'm exploring a new game. We just try things out. And let's go and see. My poor little naive dragon pup is gone to see the warden to see if he's friendly or foe. Prep. Do I want to prep anything? I don't think I do. Well, I haven't got anything to prep. Do I want to discard anything? Do you know what? I don't think I do. I think I'm going to just draw 2 cards. 1, 2. Yep. We've got 2 hunts. Wow. All right. Enemy turn. Right, now something's going to happen during minion phase. We have a tile where there's a minion and a dragon. The minion is going to attack my dragon, and it's going to attack me for 1 damage. See this sword? 1 damage. Okay, that's it. It's that simple. The rules tell me there's some minions that have crossed bones on them, which means we're going to get a condition card. Remember the condition cards? Things like this. Okay, see that icon? All right. So, but this is warden's just doing damage. Damage means I lose 1 of my life cards. I've got 4 life right now. I can choose one of these 4 cards to discard. That loses life. Which card I choose is important because each one of these life cards also has an aspect, and it acts just like a regular card. So when you lose a life, it goes to your discard pile. When it comes back to your hand, you can play it if you're in the right aspect. Okay, and playing it brings your life back. That's how you heal. So I'm going to lose 1 life right now. I'm going to choose to lose this one because this one here is any aspect, right? Cool. Just one more thing. This icon down here. It's a hoard space. So while this was in my life, I could put resources on there, but now it's in my discard pile, I can't. So I can carry one less thing. So it's good that I can get it back, but bad, I lose a space for a resource. But it's early days, I think I can manage that. And I noticed my deck was short, so I'm going to be reshuffling this soon. This card may come back quite quickly. I believe that's it for the minions' turn. There's no bosses. Let's draw an event. A mystical fog hampers your efforts. Again, this does nothing in solo. We're going to add a minion though. Let's see what we get. It is a Shaman Forest 1. So the Shaman's coming in here. He's a tough one, so I'm glad he's kind of behind us. Okay, back to us. And let's choose our aspect. Well, I'm going fighting. I've got 3 fight. That's all I need. 1, 2, 3 to knock out this warden. 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't want to move because defeating this warden is actually going to cause him to drop a resource. So yeah, 3 damage, defeats him, and the warden drops 1 gold. So this guy's defeated. I'll replace 1 gold here. Now, whereas Dragonstone allows us to boost up actions like this, gold allows you to change the aspect of a card. And that could be useful, as you're potentially using an out of aspect card, either to pay for a cost or for its effect. So yeah, I'm keen to pick up that gold. So I'm going to stay here. I'm not boosting this and moving. It's going to cost me another turn. I am running out of time, but it does say if I defeat a minion, I remove a quest. So we've got 2 out of the 4 now. Okay, I haven't got any cards to prep. Let's draw 3 more cards. That's my whole deck, and I should have another grow. Every starter deck's got 2 grows in it, so if I can grow, that would be great. Right, minions are doing nothing. Let's draw another event. Okay, now we've got an effect. The spirits bring new life to the forest. For solo, it says place a meat resource on forest 3. And there's no new minions coming. All right, this is good. Meat on forest 3. Let's grab a meat resource. Now, we've not talked about meat yet. Forest 3 is here. If you spend a meat resource, that lets you draw an extra card. Yeah, I like that. So potentially you're doing more on your turn. You've got more options on your turn. Okay, aspect wise, I do want to gather, I think. Let's hunt. I am looking up in the market here, and I did want this breath attack. It does only cost 1 resource. Remember, I can use any resource, so that's meat, gold, or dragonstone. But I'm wondering if I can take this one actually. Heedless aggression. It only costs 1. So I'm going to grow. Actually, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold on to that. Let's do this stalk first. So let's gather. I can gather the 1 meat plus 1 from the tile. So that's one dragon stone as well. So I can gather 2 resources. Okay, so I've filled my hoard. Now I can grow, and I'm going to pay 1 meat to grow this heedless aggression. Now remember, I've got to throw away 1 card from my hand. I'm going to get rid of this bite. And sorry, that's gold, isn't it? Yeah, gold. I'm going to pay gold. Okay. Then, no, switch that. I'm going to throw away the roam. I'm going to keep the bite. Okay. Then I can pay a dragon stone and move. And I'm going to move down here to the outpost. Also, taking this grow means I can complete another quest, remember? Then I'm going to play my seize card. Okay, it's in aspect. I can gather. There's 1 gold on this tile, so I can take a gold. And then, if I play a dragonstone, I can also do 1 damage. Cool. Which means I can hit the militia for 1 damage. He's got 2 defense, so I need to do 1 more damage. Now, as it goes, I could either play this seize, gather, boost, do 1 damage. I could play heedless aggression as well, or I could even spend a gold and just do a bite and play this card out of aspect. I think I like this one better, so we're going to do another seize, grab 1 more gold. Let's stick these resources away, grab a gold, then boost it by discarding heedless aggression. You were useful, but I don't need you just yet. Do another damage to the militia, that's 2 damage. It defeats the militia, which is going to award me my final quest. Wow, that's it. 4 quests done. And it says, if no quest remains on any player board, she may flip this card at any time. Warning, be ready to fight. I've got 1 bite, that's it, and I've got gold, which I can use to charge it. It may not be the good time. Let's see. So spoiler alert, let's see what happens when I flip this card.